Hello and welcome to my 2022 bullet journal yearly setup. I have done a lot of prep for this, come up with a lot of cool spreads. There's one in particular that's pretty extra, but I'm really excited about it. I'm working in the Endless brand recorder notebook for my 2022 bullet journal. It's got Tomoe river paper, so it's fairly thin but excellent for most pens and paints. I've also got some new pens, Archer and Olive Acrylograph Paint Pens that I have basically used in every spread because I think they're a lot of fun. I've never used paint pens before, but I really like just the thick, opaque layer of color that they can put down. It's really satisfying. I've also coordinated the colors of these paint pens with some stickers I got to form a nice color code for my goals this year, so I think that's going to be really satisfying too. To start things off, I'm doing a quick cover page. If you've been here before, you'll know I don't like cover pages. I think they're useless. But in order for my spreads to line up, I needed to start on an odd number page. So I just did a quick block letter 2022 with the paint pens because otherwise I would have just left this page empty. Now we get into the goal pages. I'll talk about my individual goals as we get to each page, but overall, the way I'm doing goals this year is that I have these categories, and each one I have tried to connect to the things that are important to me that I talked about in an earlier Vlogmas video. So they're not really goals, they're more like directions. I think I'm going to call them initiatives, I'm not really sure. The general idea is that I am aiming for something, but the individual goals I'm not going to set at the beginning of the year. I'm going to be planning in quarters this year. So instead of yearly goals or even monthly goals, I'm going to set goals for an entire quarter. I'm going to make a plan based pretty closely on the plan described by the 12-week year by Brian Moran, where basically you make a set of goals for 12 weeks, you break them down into daily pieces, you track how consistently you've worked on those pieces, and at the end you give yourself a score. And the idea is that you're consistently setting goals that are difficult, but not so difficult that you can't complete them to a satisfying amount. So I think the recommended percentage of completion to aim for is like 80-85%. We'll see how mine go. My first quarter ones are pretty ambitious, but we'll talk about those in a different video. And also, if you know, a quarter has 13 weeks, so the 12-week year recommends using that 13th week as a sort of downtime planning week, and that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be my chill week to set up for the next quarter. So I've taken that into account in all of these yearly spreads. Now let's talk about each of these categories or initiatives or whatever I want to call them. The first one is software, and this one is connected to using my skills to create things that can bring joy to people. Software with a focus on video games is something that I feel like I'm here to do. It's something I'm good at. I understand it. And that's why it's the first page here. It'll probably be the first thing I prioritize when setting goals throughout the year. I chose a nice coral-ish orange color for this category. I love colors just like this one. I couldn't tell you which acrylograph set this orange is from or what the color's called. I've already forgotten, but I just ordered a bunch of individual acrylograph pens off of their website. On each of these pages, I have the category and its description at the top, and then below that, I have two boxes labeled tasks. And you might think that these are sort of yearly goals, tasks that I want to complete by the end of the year, but I'm thinking of these as more buckets, inspiration for things I might want to do throughout the year. So every time I finish one, I will put a sticker or I'll draw a little dot next to it, something to indicate that I've done it, but it's not going to be completely done at the end of the year. It's really just, it's like an inspiration type of thing. If I don't have any ideas, I can pick things from these these task lists and just keep these top of mind. I've given myself a lot of room so I can add things as the year goes on. These are just the ideas that I have right now, and because a big plan for this year is to finish my game, a lot of the ones in this page are pretty set in stone. I almost certainly want to do most of these. Some that I have written down is finish gameplay features for my game. That's something I'm working on right now. Implement the UI, do sound and music, prepare for release, and so on. So like, you know this stuff, I've talked about this before. Below the task buckets, I've got 4 circles labeled for each quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. These are really for fun and to keep me motivated to make progress on my goals. Part of the 12-week year, as I mentioned, is to score how you're doing, calculate how well you've stuck to your plan. It's all percentage based. It's meant to be very quantifiable. So I'm going to fill these circles up at the end of the quarter based on that score. So just fill up the percentage of the ring that was completed. It's a way of gamifying things, which I really like. Just the incentive of filling up these circles is pretty powerful for me. And to make the circles, I just used a washi tape roll. I drew along the outside of the roll and then around the inside, and it just happened to be the right size. So if you want to do something similar, you've probably got something circular around or on your desk that you can use to do something like this. And all of these goal pages are the same, so we're just going to do this 4 more times, each with a different color. The second category I've named Mortal Vessel. This is basically health and fitness, taking care of my body, my mortal vessel that houses my soul. I gave this category the color blue. I found it hard to come up with tasks for this one because so much of health is long term. It's really hard to say like, okay, done with that task, because most healthy endeavors take years to like be done. You just have to keep doing them. So some things I did come up with were increase my weight lifted by 25% on average, reduce my resting heart rate, run another 10K, try to find a skincare routine that deals with my terrible acne, cut my body fat percentage. Those are all the really like sort of discrete solid goals that I could think of, but I'll be on the lookout for more that I can put here, maybe some focused around nutrition. The third category is called Simple Wealth. This really has 2 facets that I think work together, minimalism and building wealth. The idea here is that if I live simply, only buy what I need, get rid of everything else, I will have more resources in general with which to build wealth. Not all of these are money related. Some are focused around using the things that I have, reorganizing the things that I have, or just getting rid of things that are taking up space. In this task bucket, I have things like finishing an old blanket pattern that I've been knitting so I can use up the yarn and free up that space. Investing, simplifying my office setup. It's been feeling a bit cramped and cluttered lately. Paying down debt is a big one. This is one of the easier categories to come up with tasks for because this is very solidly like quantifiable. Everything you do with wealth and money is based around numbers, so this one was really easy. The fourth category is called Media Community, and this is kind of focused around content creation, with the ultimate goal being to build up community. With YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, with my writing, the goal is always to connect with people, entertain them, support them, find that common thread that we both share. And in this category, I have some medium-related tasks. I want to update my Twitch emotes. I also want to run an Adventure Zone Balance listening club where me and some friends will listen along to the same episodes each week and then chat about them in Discord. I'm very excited about this one because I love the Adventure Zone. This category, I'll have to be careful not to let it overshadow my main work, which is building software, because I can get a little bit carried away. But I feel like it is an important part of what I enjoy doing and what I think is worth doing. The final category is just miscellaneous. I still want to make sure that anything in this category has a larger purpose, that it's getting me somewhere that I want to be, instead of just like any random thing I consider doing. But sometimes the things I want to get done just don't fit into other categories. I only have a few tasks in this one. Replace the floors in our house, learn digital painting, and add some fun features to the Twitch overlay that I built. That last one could probably be considered a media community task, but I put it in here because it's mostly a fun project for me to play with. This next spread is the really extra one. It is so detailed. It's definitely focused around looking pretty rather than providing like tangible value, but I am very excited about this one. I based this on a spread I saw on another YouTube channel, Bulletproof Journals. Bulletproof Journals use their spread as a planning tool with this sort of weekly timeline to plan in advance, but what I'm going to do is use it as a record of what I have done, so a little bit different. On the left page, we just have a list of all the things. I'm going to put all the tasks I complete throughout the year. I'm going to try and make them bigger tasks so it's not filling up, too quickly. And I'm going to put each one here. I'm going to use the stickers I got in the right color code to mark the category, draw a number on that sticker, and then I'm going to put a matching sticker on the chart. So in the chart, I have a column for each category, and then I've numbered vertically all the weeks from 1 to 52. It goes up from 1 to 26 on the left side, and then it comes back down on the right side in sort of a loop. All the stuff on the top is just decoration. I wanted it to look cool, like all these colors are going through a prism or something. I know it's a bit much, but I love it. I think it looks so good. As the year goes on, I will slowly fill these columns with stickers, and in the end, it will be a sort of timeline for the year, showing all the things I've done, sort of roughly how they are distributed across the categories, and I just think it'll look really nice. Hopefully the stickers are sticky enough to stay on the pages. I've used some dot stickers in the past that would just kind of fall off, but these new ones I haven't really tested them out yet, so we'll see how they do. The next two spreads for my yearly setup are pretty easy. You've seen both of them before. The first one is a book spread for the books that I'll read next year. And instead of one line each, I have 2 lines for each book, one for the title and author, and the other one for just sort of a super, super brief micro review, my thoughts about the book or anything notable. Obviously this is going to have to be really short because it's just one line, but I think it'll be enough to help me remember what I thought and what I felt while reading the book. To decorate, I use the paint pens, of course. I'm just really having a lot of fun with these. Love these big bright blocks of color. And the last spread is kind of funny because it's the big finale and it is the least interesting, the least colorful, the least decorated spread in the whole journal, and that is my currently inked page. As I fill my fountain pens with ink, I'll just write down which pen it is, which ink it is, along with the date. And this helps me keep track of when my pens need to be cleaned. If I really like an ink, it helps me remember which ink was in that pen so I can get more if I want to. I keep this page really simple because once I start filling it with the ink swatches, it's going to be super colorful, super busy, and anything on top of that I think is just going to be too much. And that is the last page I'm setting up for the year. I'll be doing another bit of prep, probably in a much shorter video where I set up for the quarter, but I don't expect that to take too long. We won't see much change on these spreads until time passes and I actually start to get work done, but in a way that's really good because it means that I can use the existence of these spreads as a motivator. If I want to play in this space, if I want to fill in these circles, if I want to add stickers to my timeline, I need to actually do things. I need to do the work to get my goals done. So if I don't accomplish anything, if I don't stick to my goals, if I don't make that little bit of progress each week, then there will be nothing to fill in here. I am highly motivated by charts, accumulating data, filling in check boxes. I love this kind of stuff, and so I expect this to work really well for me, but we'll see. We'll see. I have moved the focus of this channel away from bullet journaling a little bit, but that doesn't mean I won't check in on these spreads in the future to see how they went. So keep an eye out around March, near the end of the first quarter, because that is when I will likely be revisiting these pages on video again. For now, that's the end of this video. It feels nice to have some pages set up, a fresh new notebook ready for a fresh new year. I love this time of year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope to see you there. Bye 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 bye.